Hey guys, today I wanted to talk a little bit about 2-point versus single point slings and why I may choose one over the other. The main reason I would want to choose a 2-point sling for any particular mission or thing that I'm doing is if I was wearing a bunch of bulky kit like a large plate carrier, chest rig with a pack, stuff like that, I may opt to go with the 2-point configuration to make it easier to get around all of that bulk. And when I do that, I try my best to keep the sling in the original configuration where it's coming around my back and underneath my arm as much as possible. Because if I do end up needing to swim out of this, well, now the rifle is basically just hanging around my neck like a big necklace. And if I need to transition to a handgun or grab a hold of somebody to get a hold of, get custody of someone, well, now this thing is just dangling around my neck like a big necklace. It's pulling and straining on my head. And if I was to get into a fight with somebody and they grab a hold of the rifle, they could be jerking me around by my head and neck, and this sling is probably going to pop off and they're going to end up with my rifle. So in order to avoid that, whenever possible, as long as my gear and equipment will allow it, I'm almost always going to run a single point configuration. Now, the way to mitigate some of the problems that people have with a single point configuration is I'm not going to leave a ton of slack in it. So a lot of people will run them like this in the middle and they'll be really low, and that's where they get the problems of the thing banging into their knees or in their groin, being completely in the way. And so what I do is I keep it much tighter and I put the attachment point up higher towards my shoulder, to where the stock is just a few inches, maybe 2 or 3 inches below my chin. This way, if I'm in this configuration and I do drop it straight down, it's off to the side and it's a little higher and tighter. If I've got a shorter barrel, it's not going to be a problem. But that's not how I'm going to transition anyway. The way I'm going to transition is I'm going to have it up high, and if I need to go to a secondary, I'm going to push it forward to clear my gear, turn the gun upside down and put the gun behind me. Then I'm going to get my secondary weapon out or get a hold of somebody or work on a casualty, whatever I need to do. Then I can just reach back, bring the gun back up into action, do whatever I need to do. If I need it out of my way a little bit more permanently, where maybe there's a situation where I won't need to get it back into action quite as quickly, say I'm going to scale a longer ladder or a wall, or I'm going to work on a casualty for a little bit longer time, what I can do is I can just face the gun to my side, tuck the magazine into the sling, and then push the whole thing around to my back. This way it stays out of the way. It's not going to move as easily or come loose as easily, and I can do whatever I need to do, move around, and the rifle's in position statically behind me, no problem. So when I need to get it back, I'll just reach around, grab the stock, pull it back into the front, and pop the magazine out of the sling like that. And then I'm back up and running. It doesn't take a lot of time, but it is a little bit slower. So you want to make sure when you do that, when you stow it away like that, you're not going to need it back like super quick, lightning fast. Although you can get it back pretty quick. So those are the reasons why I choose single point and 2-point options. I like to have both. If I can, what I'll usually do is take a 2-point sling and convert it to a 2-to-1 so that I can always have either or option. And that's really what I recommend. And there's lots of different ways to convert these slings to do that. And I'll probably end up making at least one video in the future going over different ways of making that configuration happen. Anyway, it's just a short video about slings. Thank you guys for watching.